The Life of Zhuangzi. Zhuangzi is a great figure in Chinese cultural history. As a philosopher and a litterateur, Zhuangzi made great contributions to the development of Chinese culture with his well-worded fables and brilliant imagination. However, not much information about Zhuangzi is available now. The most important records about Zhuangzi are found in Records of the Grand Historian, written by Sima Qian, 145 to 87 BC. Besides some fragmentary materials provided by some writings in the Warring States period and the book Zhuangzi. But even Records of the Grand Historian fails to provide a full chapter on Zhuangzi and only lists him in biographies of Laozi, Zhuangzi, Shen Buhai, and Han Feizi, with only a few hundred words dedicated to Zhuangzi. As of today, it is still impossible to make a detailed and complete introduction to Zhuangzi. Furthermore, even some of the widely accepted knowledge about Zhuangzi is now held under question. For example, Records of the Grand Historian says that he was a native of Meng in the state of Song, without mentioning the exact location of Meng. Today, many people attempt to make out where Meng is located. Dongming in Shandong Province, Caoxian in Shandong Province, Shangqiu in Henan Province, Minquan in Shandong Province, or Mengcheng in Anhui Province. The latest claims have been quite a few. Nevertheless, we are able to gather a few facts about the life of Zhuangzi. Zhuangzi's family name is Zhuang, and his given name, Zhou. The exact dates of his birth and death have remained unknown, possibly around the Middle and Late Warring States period, and the research findings available have it that he was alive between 328 and 294 BC. He once held a position as a superintendent, a watchman as a matter of fact, in a lacquer yard, and soon quit the job for a life as a recluse. He was probably the poorest among the philosophers of the 100 schools of thought before the Qin dynasty. During the difficult times, according to his disciples, he had to earn his living by making straw sandals, and even borrowed food from others when he did not know where his next meal would come from. Once he went to see the King of Wei in a patched dress of coarse cloth and a pair of straw sandals with broken strings. But he was not at all bothered about it. When the King of Wei asked him why he was so distressed, he immediately replied that he was not distressed, but just poor and born at the wrong time, just like a monkey finding itself among prickly thorns, trapped in an unfavorable situation, with its hands and feet tied, not being able to bring its abilities to full play. Here is another story in Records of the Grand Historian. Hearing that Zhuangzi was very talented, King Wei of Chu sent 2 envoys with a big reward to invite him to be the prime minister. Zhuangzi said to the envoys with a smile, "1,000 pieces of gold is indeed a large sum, and the prime minister is, of course, a high position. But you might as well take a look at the ox serving as the sacrificial offering. It can usually enjoy good food and beautiful clothes, but once it becomes the sacrificial offering, it's no longer possible to live as carefree as a piglet. Please leave, and do not try to corrupt me. I would rather be like a small fish, having fun in the mud, than being constrained by the lords." In another story, Zhuangzi compared himself to the noble phoenix, dismissing the high position of the prime minister held by his friend Hui Shi as a rotten rat. Unlike other famous thinkers, Zhuangzi spent his entire life as a recluse, not willing to intervene in the outside world. He had disciples, but not many, unlike Confucius, who had 72, or Mencius, who had a few dozens. History books say that Mencius had dozens of horseback riders accompanying him and hundreds of followers when he went to the state of Qi. Zhuangzi had just a few friends. Among the renowned scholars and literati then, Zhuangzi was most close to Hui Shi, with whom he discussed and argued about important issues. Many such accounts can be found in the book Zhuangzi. So the death of Hui Shi meant to Zhuangzi the loss of a bosom friend, with whom he exchanged ideas and shared a mutually enlightening relationship. Xunzi was the only one among the pre-Qin philosophers to mention Zhuangzi in his book, which shows that Zhuangzi probably did not have much contact with the other thinkers of his time. This may well explain why not one word about Zhuangzi has been found in the writings of Mencius, a more famous and equally contentious contemporary of Zhuangzi. On the other hand, when Zhuangzi condemned Confucian benevolence and righteousness, Mencius was not among the targets to be attacked.